Welcome back to my channel, welcome back to another video. Hope you guys are all having a wonderful, fantastic, beautiful day. Today's upload is going to be about another update on the winter storm that will be occurring across the southeast, into the east, and into the Midwest. It will be fairly significant. It will drop many inches of snow depending on where you live, and several tenths, even up to an inch of ice, which is even greater risk than snow. So if you like these type of updates, if you like my channel, I would recommend you to subscribe. Click that subscribe button, click the like button, and that is up to you. And that is a great way to support my channel, so thank you for doing that if you decide to do so. Let's go back to hour 6 right now. We are looking at the 18Z run of the GFS. This basically indicates what time of the day this comes in, and this is the actual date. GFS 6-hour average precip rate in millimeters per hour. Right now we are looking at a fairly strong system working its way up and east, so north and northeast. It's centered right here. As of now, has quite a bit of cold air around it. It's actually as cold in New Orleans right now as it is in Minneapolis, so that is a very interesting setup that we're seeing right now. This low moves something like this and up and out like that. Maybe I draw that a little bit wrong, but it moves something like this and out into the northeast, dropping several inches of snow, even up to a foot in some areas, and several tenths, hundredths of an inch of ice, which is plenty enough to cause many road problems, and not only road but power outages and many among that. So we are looking at this could be actually a very historic event, very rare event. The last time New York City saw a snowfall in November, I'm fairly sure, was 2012, and a major accumulating event was 2012, and that was with Winter Storm Athena. That's what the Weather Channel named it, and that was right after Superstorm Sandy hit, 12 days after, I'm fairly sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this could be a definitely historic event. You can see it right now. This is what the map is looking somewhere around this time. Snow in Tennessee, Arkansas, Mississippi. This is already rare and historic in what it has done in the past, but there's plenty. No, the brunt of this storm is still to come. This moves up very quickly up north and then starts taking an eastwardly turn, and cities like Chicago, northern Illinois will be the cutoff line for this snow. Areas north of Chicago, maybe nothing at all, and then south, maybe up to 3-4 inches. So this is very interesting, and you'll need to keep an eye on this, especially for cities that are on the border. New York City and Boston are also cities that could be with that rain snow cutoff. So many areas, many cities are at, this is a very tricky forecasted challenge, especially with the ice and that rain and the snow, very tricky and challenging. You could see it swoops off into the northeast. Areas like upstate New York, Pennsylvania will be seeing fairly good amounts of snow. That passes through into Maine seeing quite a hefty dose of snow. Boston, Massachusetts, again being, according to this run of the GFS, being mainly in the rain, along with New York City and Washington, D.C. And then later on, we are seeing another little system that is during the weekend, and we will focus on that once the time is around that time after this storm passes, because this storm right now is definitely the biggest threat for the next couple of hours, and not hours, the next couple of days. We go to the, actually, let's go back to the GFS. I almost forgot to show you the total snowfall accumulation. So let's go to total snowfall. In terms of the GFS, we're looking at, again, that cutoff in, say, around, the most farthest western point will be around central Missouri. The most farther northern point, probably cities like Toronto, and then as far south as Mississippi and northern Alabama and southern Arkansas, which we already did see that snow. I would say the easiest and most confident area that I have, and many other people have in this forecast, is areas in southern Illinois, southern Indiana, southern Ohio, and northern Kentucky. Maybe not northern Kentucky, but western Kentucky. These areas right in here, due to the fact that they have the least chance of seeing mixing with the rain and ice, and that leads to an easier forecast to be done. The most areas that I am absolutely not confident about at all is this area right in here. This could be either ice, this could be a massive icing event, this could be, if it's a little bit colder, a massive snow event, and if it's a little bit warmer, even warm enough to support all rain. It could be a just a fairly rainy system, but at this point the thermal profiles look to be supporting mainly ice and snow in these areas. On the snowfall totals, you could see up to a foot of snow, especially in the higher elevated areas. Couple of hundred of feet in this type of scenario would do a lot in terms of that transition between that ice and that rain, ice and the snow and the rain potentially. We look at the NAM 12 km, which I will run the radar rain/snow precip in just a minute, but these snowfall totals are ridiculous, and the NAM at this point, I'm saying, is way too far to the south. It is definitely not going to be up to 14 inches in South Carolina. That is not going to happen, and even up in here, more than a foot, I doubt it. I would say somewhere around 10 inches is the max with this system. Let's go to radar rain/frozen, and if we actually look at the NAM, they're not showing snow as far south as South Carolina. You can see they're just showing ice, and I don't even know where they got this from. You can see this is South Carolina. They were showing up to 14 inches. There's not really much at all going on in here. So this is mainly going to be rain and ice in here. Rain and ice and sleet, not necessarily snow. Again, these areas we're fairly confident about. We're seeing, west of Indiana, we are seeing fairly good thermal profile supporting all snow, and same with as far north as Michigan. However, once we start getting at the backside of the system, we don't know whether there's going to be backside snow. We don't know whether this is all going to be rain, snow, sleet. Upstate New York, Maine, those areas look fairly good in terms of the snow. It's rather to be snow than rain or ice. And then again, areas like Massachusetts and New York City will be on the border between the rain and the snow, and that could lead, you could see New York City potentially a couple of hours of heavy snow, and that's what the NAM is showing, but then transitioning into rain, which could be even worst case scenario than just being all rain. So or even being all snow, I should say, because being all rain would be the best case scenario. Being all snow would be the second best, and then from rain to snow would be the third worst, and the worst would be the icing. Icing, I feel sorry for everyone that needs to deal with that. That's just a brutal. Ice is not even fun like snow is for those snow lovers. We are now going to look at the HER model. The HER model is a very good high resolution model. However, the only flaw, it goes out to 18 hours. And we are seeing again that snow breaking out western Kentucky, western Tennessee, and Arkansas, Missouri. This pushes up into parts of you could see as far north as Chicago, maybe being on that borderline between the snow and no snow, and then we start seeing that snow in Michigan, Ohio, northern Ohio looking fairly good for snow, though there could definitely be some precip with this that is going to be frozen in terms of ice, and you could see also quite a bit of snow on this side of in the Middle Atlantic, Virginia, West Virginia area. However, that could also be transitioned into ice and rain as we go on and the system warms up the atmosphere. According to the HER, in terms of total snowfall, again, fairly confident in this area, up to half a foot of snow. These areas also could see quite a bit of snow, but then these areas are just, we really don't know. This could be all rain, this could be all snow, this could be all ice. At this point, seems to be a mix of all three, unfortunately, which is very hard to forecast, but we'll just need to see how this plays out. The last thing I'd like to show you, or actually the second to last thing I'd like to show you, is the European model snowfall. And let's go back to, next 3 days, you could see they're showing New York City actually seeing quite a bit of snow. So that's the difference between the European model and the GFS. New York City potentially north of it seeing 7 inches, south of it seeing 3 inches. Boston potentially seeing, and I don't want to click on that, Boston, the western suburbs, seeing as much as 7 inches. Upstate New York seeing, let's just click on a random location, and you're in between these colors, sorry about that, up to 10 inches. I would not rule out the possibility of 12 inches. Definitely the 12 inches will occur somewhere, but I would say most widespread 5 to 10 inches. And then in this area, in central to southern Illinois, around 3, 4, 5, 6 inches of snow. I would also like to look, the last thing I'd like to show is the National Weather Service Weather Ready Nation map, which is basically shows you All the watches and warnings are posted. Massive winter storm watches, winter weather advisories, winter storm warnings. You can see we have one area in southern Illinois and one area here in Pennsylvania. Let's click on State College, Pennsylvania. That is a fairly good location. You can see snow, sleet, not necessarily snow, wintry mix. So the very, very different scenario, but possibly here. 2 to 4 inches, 1 to 3 inches, and with a couple tenths of an inch of ice, which is just a disaster. But we will need to see how this rolls out, and we will need to see how this plays out in terms of producing snow, ice, or rain, and this will be a learning system for many of us. Sorry about that. Let's go to southern Illinois right here. We are looking at cities like Chester, Clarenville, and Vandalia. Let's click on, we should have probably, okay, let's just go to, this is Sparta Community Hunterfield Airport. They're seeing snow right now. Actually, no, they're not going to be seeing snow, but the winter storm warning is in effect right now. They're about to get into the snow, and 3 to 7 inches possible, which I would say is definitely a thing to be concerned about and watchful. So, potentially historic event occurring. Hopefully you got updated on this. Hopefully you enjoyed. I don't know if there's anything to enjoy about this unless you're a snow lover. Consider subscribing, consider liking the video, and I'll catch you all guys in the next episode. See ya. Bye.